Hello, and welcome back, or welcome aboard if you are new, and welcome back to SimplePlanes 2. So, in the past few episodes, I have built things kind of styled off of suggestions or requests, and kind of always just gone along with that. And I think today I'm going to build something that I just kind of feel like doing for whatever reason, and that's something I haven't built yet, using some things that are in suggestions. So what I want to build today is an actual working fighter jet. So we are going to do that. And first off, I want to decide if it's going to be single or twin engine. I'm thinking probably a single engine. I want to make it small and maneuverable, and I'm not going to go after any particular uh, design that already exists. I'm just going to kind of do whatever, I guess. So we're just going to, I don't know, work on some shape here. Kind of start building the fuselage out. All right, let's get our pilot seat out here so we can get a good idea of our positioning and our scale. I do want this to be kind of small and nimble, not gigantic. All right, that looks good. All right, now, yeah, that's right. I'm gonna have to attach this before it'll let me decorate it. That's fine. So let's get another section added on here. And we're going to just attach our buddy here. Up here, if it'll let me put it in there. Come on. No, I don't want it that far back. There we go. And we'll just slide you forward some. Alright. So we've got kind of a general shape we want. Let's go ahead and move back to the very back here. And we'll make this a bit wider. And let's see, let's get this so it's big enough. 1.5 going to be big enough? Let's see. Actually, let's shift you a little bit. We're just going to kind of try and shape this so it fits well. We don't want it to be too big. Let's try 1.25. Then we'll make this one to match for now. Alright. And then, let's see, how do we want to do this? Let's see what it'll look with just a nose on it for this. If we need to add another point, we can. Don't want it quite so round. There we go. Doesn't look too bad. Now, we need our pilot. We're just going to slide him back a little. And then what I want to do is get a cockpit on here so you can get an idea of how that's going to line up with the rest of the plane. Okay, that is far too forward. No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to stretch it out a bit. Maybe narrow it a little bit, just a tiny. There we go. Now, just need to line that up a bit. That looks all right. Now let's get a little hole for our pilot here. Just gonna get a bay here. Get that as centered as we can. And then we're just going to adjust that until it fits. Make it a bit wide, not too wide. All right, there we go. Let's round it off a bit more. That doesn't look too bad for now. Pilot is sitting pretty low in there though. Let's fix that. I suppose this thing isn't going to be super tiny, but all right, let's see how our cockpit looks. That looks pretty good. All right, let's hide this again and hide that. Let's get some instruments on here before it gets too cluttered. And we're going to want a few. There's a lot I want to do. So let's see. Actually, I want two of these. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll do 3 multifunction displays. Let's do that, yeah. Get this kind of up here a little. And then we'll get our gauges here. Switches and stuff we'll do later. And we'll also set those multifunction displays up a bit later. No. Da, da, da. Yeah, I don't know how to set any of that. I think a lot of that's for VR, so let's get a throttle in here. All right. Fairly basic for now, but it'll work. Let's get a bit of color on this just so we can kind of differentiate it a bit. All right, so we got a basic shape. Canopy doesn't look too bad. All right, so next, let's go. Oh, I didn't want to do that. So next, I want to extend backwards some. Now let's see, we want to adjust the trapezium a bit on that, but which way do we want to go? Let's go this way. Let's make this an interesting shape. 50, is that too much? No, I don't think so. Then we'll add a section. Let's make it a bit wider. Oh, not less. Yeah, let's do that. Move that back a bit. All right, let's see. Add one more section and get our engine in here so we can start shaping for that. We're just going to use a single jet engine, if I can get it to center itself here. Alright. Not quite sure how long we want to make this yet. We do want it fairly long. So let's add another section on here, and then we'll start to round it out. And we'll just go for, I don't know, a unique shape, I suppose. Alright. Let's get some wings out here. Now, do we want to do traditional wing or delta wing? Let's do a traditional wing. But we want it a bit bigger. Let's move you down here in a little bit. Mirror it. Still seems a bit small. That's one thing I don't know a ton about is surface area of wings. There we go. We'll go with that for now. Alright, so let's just get these sections kind of... It just makes it easier for me to see which sections are done and to kind of separate them. Alright, I can't tell if that seems short or not. It does seem a bit short to me. Oh, we didn't want that. Let's move this a bit like that. Move the engine back this way. And then we will stretch this out some, like that. Alright, need a little bit of adjustment. Like getting rid of that rise that it has for no reason. And we'll just kind of scooch that in so it lines up a bit better. That looks alright. Alright, how's that? That looks a bit better. Alright, let's get something up behind this cockpit here. Let's just get a little chunk of hollow fuselage here. And then we are going to go forward to the front, and we are going to fully round it out. Make it nice and thin. We'll go with the 2%. And then we're just going to slide this down in here until we get it lined up with the back of the cockpit. And then we just adjust the size until it's where we want it. Alright, and then we just move on to the back. Narrow that down some. Adjust the thickness. Then we're going to stretch this back here. What we're going to do is we're just going to have it taper down. Have it narrow a bit as well. There we go. Alright. Let's see, what do we want next? We need our tail stuff. So let's get our vertical stabilizer on here. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a bit bigger than normal, but that's okay. Try and find a nice spot for these. Might rotate them a little bit so they fit a little bit better. There we go. And let's make them a little bit bigger. All right. All right, there we go. Let's see, what else do we need? We need some landing gears. Just getting all the basics in for now. So stick a big boy up front. And then since we made our booty a little chunky, we'll get a couple rear gears back here. Nice. Yeah, that'll look good. Needs to be functional, but I also want it to look nice. All right, let's see. What do we got? What else are we missing? So let's take a look at our engine here because I want to give it, where is it? An afterburner. Let's give it some colors. We'll make it a dark blue. That will go to a light blue. There we go. And we'll leave that. Let's give it a bit of gimbal too. We'll give it 5%. And we'll set that at 50. Oh, made our engine a bit bigger, I guess. Adding the afterburner on there, but that's okay. All right, let's see. Now that we got this kind of shaped, let's get just a standard color on here for now. Nice. Okay, that'll do for now. Okay, what else are we missing? You know, I always want to do these up front here, simply because I like using them for trim. If that makes sense. So we just switch that to trim, and then I can use those to trim my aircraft, which is, it's an interesting way to do it, but I like how it works in this, so we're gonna go with that, and we can always change it later. All right, next we want to get to the fun stuff, or the more fun stuff. I like this stuff too. So I want a big old chunky boy targeting pod on the belly here. Nice. All right. And then I want to build a housing for it. So we'll stick a little piece of hollow fuselage here. And then we are going to make it, not that, forward thin. Oh, we'll go with 2. All right, let's do, we'll give it a bit of trapezium here. Then we just narrow it down. So let's just do it this way, a bit quicker. Oh, I meant to move that up in there first. Alright. Doesn't look very pretty yet, but we'll fix that. Alright. Now we got a little pot on there. Let's give that a bit of color so we can differentiate it. Alright. So we need to tweak that back a little bit. Oh, not the pot. I need that. This. There we go. Alright, there we go. We'll change the color later. This is just so I can see it. Alright, then we'll get a nose cone on there, but definitely not like that. So we're going to shrink that down. And just kind of shape this up into there a bit. Alright. And we want to make that hollow. No, we don't. I was thinking making it glass, but we'll make it even, we'll do better than that. We'll put an actual window in for it. Oh, that's so... Okay, I'm going to try that again. Alright, now can I move this? There we go, that's what I want to do. So we'll just get this up here. Move this back like so. There we go. And now we've got a window for our pod. But what I want to do real quick, make it so we can see it a little bit better. They're usually kind of dark. There we go, nice. Alright, now let's get a little booty on here. If it'll let me. Come on. There we go. No, you do not need the rise. There we go. What you need is to rise. No. This way. Yes. There we go. Just to make sure it's got some decent aerodynamics. Alright. That'll do, I think. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now we've got a targeting pod. So let's go ahead and link these up to it. We'll just link all three of them to it. That way I can turn them on for that particular screen. I can pick which screen I display it on, essentially. Alright, so we got a targeting pod. We need to get a... I don't know if we really need it, if we build the plane well enough, but let's go ahead and get a gyro in here. Looks like our balance isn't too bad so far. And then what I'm going to try and do is set this up as more of like a stabilizer. And then see if I can use it just to kind of keep the plane stable at times if I need to. Alright, and then we're going to put our fuel in our wings. We're going to need a fair amount of it because of the afterburner. Let's make these a bit bigger, actually. I feel like they need to be with the size of the plane. It's not quite as small as I thought it would be, but, we'll make it work. All right, so next, let's get some air brakes on here. We'll just stick these on the wings. Rotate them so they kind of match up there. There we go. I like things to be as even as possible. All right. Now, are there any actual settings for these? Nope. All right. They're kind of small, but they should work for now. All right, next, we need some actual weapons. So let's skip all that fun stuff right now and get some guns. So let's go with these actual wing guns this time, because I always try to end up using mini guns and stuff, and it's just not, I end up doing the same thing every time, and I don't want to do that. So we'll grab a couple of these. There we go. Now we've got some machine guns. I should put them in the nose, actually. But you know what? Let's put no. We'll leave the nose blank for aerodynamics. We don't need another one of those. All right. So, okay, those will clear. Okay, those canards. As long as it clears them, that's fine. All right, so let's get some pylons on here. Let's rotate this and stick it on the wingtip. Size it down so we can actually fit it in there, like that. Not quite. Need a little bit smaller. There we go. Just want it sticking out a little bit. All right, and then we will stick some IR missiles on there. Some little tip winders. There we go. Very nice. All right, now let's get some more pylons. I don't think we need the long ones yet. That look okay for now? Yeah. It's not quite hitting the wing. There we go. And then let's get some active radar missiles. There's some big boys. Let's get a couple more of those on here. Try and get things positioned so they look fairly nice, so they're balanced. All right, there we go. So we've got guns, IR missiles, radar missiles. Let's see, is there anything else we want to stick on here? We could put some bombs or some rockets. Let's go with some rocket pods. I don't use those nearly enough. And then we will move these in for aerodynamic purposes. I'm tempted to build them into the fuselage there. We'll leave them there. Yeah, that should be alright. Laser guided, yes. There we go. Now we can try and laser guide them with the pod, although I have a feeling this might be a bit fast for that. Alright, let's see. What else are we missing? Plenty of weapons for now. Got our interior stuff for now. We did put a gyroscope in there. Let's give it a decal on the tail. No, not text. Let's see. There we go. That'll work. There we go. There, a decal. Alright, let's see, what else are we missing? I feel like I'm missing something else, and I don't know what it is. Our balance looks okay. We've got fuel in the wings. We've got our weapons, our pod, our landing gear, air brakes. Why is that yellow? Oh, that's just the ball for the... Okay. Well, let's get that sized a bit better anyways. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, we're going to need some inlets for our engine. Where do we want to put those? Let's put them over here. I mean, obviously we don't have to have them, but I like to do cool stuff like that. Alright, so let's get this moved here. And then we're just going to... Oh, we don't need it deeper. Or higher. We need it longer. There we go. Alright. Hide those, and now let's see if we can make some covers for them. Fortunately, we have the ability to mirror things, because this would be a genuine pain if I couldn't. Alright, let's get this kind of shaped how we want it. Don't want it so square, or round I mean. Okay, we're going to need to adjust our hole here. So it's not clipping through. There we go. Alright, now back to where I was before, trying to make this shape somewhat work. Maybe I can make that work. Sorry if I'm quiet, I'm just trying to think of how to make this work, if that makes sense, so it doesn't look really stupid. Let's see. What if I just rotate it? So it's like this. No, let's not do that. That's too much work. Those look kind of cool anyways, so I think maybe I'll just stick with that. Make it a bit longer. Yeah, actually I kind of like that. Never mind, I want to keep that. What is blocking the... Oh, these. Of course. Oh, let's see. Maybe I should do it without the nose cones. Those kind of get in the way. Now, if I cut... There we go. I can get that to open up to the engine a bit. Nice, now you can see the engine in there. Let's, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Just wanted to color it inside a bit so the engine would stand out. I like that black better. The other one's a bit too glossy for me. Alright, let's do a different color for these. We go with Blue Angels. We'll just go with what I was messing around with. Red and black. Alright, cool. So, we won't do the weapons red and black though. We'll do them a kind of a gray color so they're not exactly the same as the plane. Alright, let's get a better color for those barrels. Paint those. Get this painted like I was going to. Alright. How does it look? What do you think? We've been going for about 40 minutes now. We haven't even taken it out yet, so let's see how our balance is way off now. I don't know why. Maybe all the weapons. Oh, probably because I made that one piece hollow. Does that affect it? Yes, it does. Alright, there we go. That's no longer hollow, and now it's better. Alright, so we want to make that so it can turn. Alright, shall we give it a try? been a long time coming. It's definitely a unique shape, but you know what? I like it, actually. Hopefully it'll fly. Let's see, there should be, here we go. Overcast, ooh, there we go, stormy. We'll make it around noon. Nice, okay. Let's see how it does. Come on, there's the afterburner. Ooh, that's a nice looking afterburner. Alright, we're getting some major speed here. Let's see if we can take off. We can. Nice, without the trim. Get our landing gear up. Now let's try and get our trim adjusted so we fly straightish. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we look like from the inside. Alright. Oh, I bumped a button, I think. I have no idea where I am. There we go, we're above the clouds now. I accidentally bumped my trim button. Alright. Now, we'll use this for our flight computer, weapons, and our targeting pod, which if we switch to ground, we'll activate the targeting pod. For now, we'll go with air. Now, let's hop back out here and spawn some AI craft. Let's go with modern fighters that are aggressive. Oh, you know what? I forgot something, actually. Let's go back to building real quick. If we're fighting enemy fighters, we're going to need countermeasures. Are those under gizmos? Or weapons? Must be weapons. There we go. We get some flares. And some chaff. And then we'll go ahead and color these so they match a bit. There we go. And let's see. One other thing I wanted to do. I want to build like a little HUD thing for him before we go back out. I don't really need to, but I want to. So let's get a little piece of fuselage here. And we are just going to shrink the heck out of this for now. Why did it turn into a booty? Oh, because it duplicated it. You know what? We'll do it later. I want to see if this thing even flies. Let's go ahead and we will change the weather to clear just for fighting something so we can see it. Let's see about taking off from the cockpit. Alright, let's get these set up. We got our flight computer, weapons, and our targeting pod. Now let's see if we can take off from the cockpit. Oh, she's fast. And we're off. Let's get our gear up. Ooh, she's quick. I like it. Let's get some altitude here. I'll hop back out so we can hear it a bit better. Now let's see about spawning in some aircraft. Alright, we got one. Switch to our air mode. See how it maneuvers. Alright, we got it. 24 kilometers away. Getting radar lock. That's a long shot, though. And it's a fighter, they're probably going to defeat the missile. Nah, we'll fire one anyways, we got plenty. Oh, they're shooting. Fire countermeasures. Oh, we got him. Nice. Oh, I heard their missile go by, did you? It just zipped by, I'll have to look back at the footage. Alright. We defeated him. Set the afterburner for a second. Let's try spawning 2 this time. Because I will eventually run out of countermeasures. Oh, they're close too. Oh, oh, they got me. I saw the missile coming. Oh, I got one of them. Nice. Alright, so it definitely works. So yeah, let me know what you think of the random fighter jet. Actually, we didn't use the... We gotta use the rockets also, so we're gonna use that. And then while we're taking off and using that, let me know down in the comments below what you think about it. If you think there are things I can do to improve it or what you would change about it. Also, if you've got any suggestions, I would love to hear them also. I always like getting ideas from viewers. Lots of cool things I've made so far have been because of that. So definitely let me know down in the comments if you have any ideas of things you want to see me try and build, even if I'm going to fail horribly. I seem to be getting a bit better at the game, so I managed to build a functional fighter jet. So air to ground. Probably a place we shouldn't be hitting with rockets, but... Oh, I stalled it. Too much control authority there. I must go to my people. Until next time, take care, be safe, and I will see you later.